Fools or success? Fools or success? Really, this is fundamental to what's going on right now. Many people blubbering and belly aching about markets, gloom and doom, everything's going to hell, the whole world. China's not going to negotiate with USA. Folks, 2025, energy is everything. Energy is all. Human beings have never used as much energy in any time in our history than they do today. And it's not going to change into the future. There's lots of predictors, lots of truth, even stages of civilization where they measure energy control and usage by everyday people. Energy is absolutely all and all. And how does it work today when we look at the two mightiest countries? And really, USA is 342 million people versus China's 1.5 billion people. China is 80% foreign reliant for its energy needs. USA is 100% self-reliant and then some. And everybody goes, no, Dave, wait a minute. What USA imports and produces goes out on a global stage. They do not consume the 13 million barrels of a day. They don't. A lot of that's exported themselves after refinement through their value and supply chains. USA, leading economy in the world. China's right there at their doorstep. But how much do Chinese people have to work and give of themselves to equate what America does naturally? A whole lot. A whole lot. And in that density, in that negative energy system, they have to take in a whole pile, being reliant on everybody else. What happens, like when we start watching Southeast Asia countries ready to negotiate with Donald J. Trump on tariffs? What happens when they break from China? These are China's absolutes, two of which are in the ASEAN, the Asian Pacific Partnership with Canada. USA didn't sign. Canada did. USA likes its country-by-country agreements, 105 of them. Now, China's no slouch, but let's do this tit for tat. Who will be successful? USA, who's energy dominant, and China, who's extremely energy reliant. In a world where the number one source of your economic might comes from energy, who do you pick to win? Now, you're going to hear Canadians across the board, and even Carney now, Liberal, Conservative, NDP, all together now, even though they've never been before. We got to group together, get trade across all the provinces, remove all barriers, throw everybody off their land if they're in the way. It doesn't matter, Indian or Canadian. We're going to punch it through. We're going to do this even though we've never done it in how many multiple decades. Never done it. Never ever completed one. In fact, we've watched monumental companies leave, abandon all leases and say, F you. We're out of here. We're back in the United States where we're safe and sound in a predictable system where we know we can make it work. And now, with what USA is doing, it's even better than it ever was. Canada's politicians are telling you, screw America, who's energy dominant. Canada is energy dominant if they wish to be. But they're resource enshrined in colonial fashion, subjugated, can't be a free peoples. On a cusp, your politicians are going, communism, that's an alternative, or we the people of America. I'd rather be a communist because at least I'll be the central government. If I follow the system of America, I don't exist as the exploiter anymore. Those Canadian slaves won't be my property anymore. They'll be free and they won't need me anymore. I won't be a millionaire anymore. I'll have to get a real job like all those I subjugate. But I'm no fucking good at nothing except for extremely lying. And if I go out into the real workforce, I won't last a day. I won't last a day. I'll get fired. My life will be crap. I want to be a communist. I want to go with China. I'm going to go with that, even though that promises absolute economic destruction of this country. And anyone who denies that, look at the world history. Ask Russia, how well did the Soviet Union serve them over its entirety? How hard did they have to beat on the people to make that work? Because, folks, they've gone through all kinds of socialism and everything in between. That is one region on earth of peoples. Today, 162 million of them. 162 million with a lot more might than Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand combined, which right there over supersedes the population of Russia equivalency, but yet nowhere near the might of Russia or the spherical influence. That should scare you. But then the Commonwealth, you need 23% of the subjects of the world. And still, the economic superiority isn't there. Russia still defeats all of them, damn near tit for tat. And when you go to purchase power parity, Russia goes like this, backhand, away with you, Commonwealth. You're nothing. In fact, they backhand the Commonwealth and the entire European Union. If it wasn't for the United States, they'd all be done in a long time ago. Let's be honest here. If you don't believe it, go look at World War II. If it wasn't for the United States, and even Russia at that time, people don't understand things because they don't want to understand things. But the writing's on the wall. China is in a loser's seat. And sure, there was this green initiative that favored China. Oh yes, let's all adopt the communist strategy. That's really what King Charles and the Commonwealth wished to do with the Green New Deal. That is Communist China's playbook number one. Why? Because China is 100% on the loser side of energy. 1.5 billion people, 80% energy reliant, meaning they can't generate domestic energy needs to match their population. Never. They rely on securing all of the rest of the world in rare earth minerals and all of it. Metals and minerals. That's how they have to do it, and explore nuclear technology that they themselves and only 4 others have access to in this world at the highest levels. That's it. Nobody else. Nobody else. They're all in non-proliferation. Folks, wake up. You can't model yourself in a system that's rigged against you. And why would you want to when Canada itself is energy dominant? Hello? Just like, why are we modeled after a British island when we're a major chunk of a continent? The largest chunk of a continent for the lowest amount of people in the entire world. But yet, like Rupert's Land and all of its history, we say that crown land doesn't belong to the people of Canada. No, sirree. It belongs to an elite, a divine benefactor that you elect and appoint. That's a great idea. And if worst case scenario comes, we just go full on communist. Kill America, go communist. That's the best solution. Central government, and they control the means of production, and you, the slaves, become you, the communists. You, the communists. This is where Canada wishes to choose. Now, their names are all one and the same, whether it's called Pierre Poilievre, Mark Carney, Jagmeet Singh, Elizabeth May, Yves Blanchette, and on and on. Absolutely all your premiers. There is no denying all the premiers are in on it. And you want to know who the worst two are? The worst two in your face right now? Francois Legault and Danielle Smith. Now, Alberta, no, it's not true. It is true. It's in your face. Alberta, there is no reason for you at all to not be absolutely and unequivocally energy dominant forever and a day. All of Canada, in fact. All of Canada. If you shut down the non-proliferation agreement, there is not a region in the far reaches of Canada's north that wouldn't be covered under the greatest source of energy production the world's ever seen and known. Bar nobody else. We blow Russia, who lives this reality today. It's why they are the second, if not in some respects first, nation in the world on this. USA, Russia are always like this. 1, 2, 1, 2. Very hard to distinguish that line. And this is not a source of a major global population, yet these two countries operate as though somehow they are 60% of the world. Both those countries, in their own lanes and in their own respect. How is that possible? 162 million Russians. How are they like that? How is America at its $30 trillion economy like that with only 342 million people? You ask people this and they're just like, I don't know, I don't want to know these answers. It's because they're energy dominant. They see it through for the people, by the people. They're doing that. They live it, they breathe it, they are that. They are that. Now USA is a lot further along than Russia, and Russia's half the population with an even more landmass. But what about Canada? Why can't Canada pursue these? Why do Canadians never ever say, hey, we should be pursuing this? Whether clean or dirty in energy independence, Canada is more than capable of outperforming Russia and USA, hands down, just domestically. In fact, energy in Canada should be pennies on the dollar for the far reaches of the north, meaning I don't care how far of an Inuit Arctic population, there is nuclear technology and the ores right here in Canada that are already pulled out of the ground at an unbelievable rate, 30 to 60 times in its raw form, energy producing and not even creating that much pollution, not even remotely close to what we produce now in our system under non-proliferation. I have Jim Scherer, a Pulitzer Prize winner, #1, also World Constitution Day. He does World Nuclear Day. Everything there is to ever know. I am blessed in this life. I've had an incredible life when it comes to intellectual property and sharing. Mostly, yes, amongst Americans because we all speak English. I'm lucky I get to navigate Oxford now, and I love where AI is going with everything. I was on the phone here for the last 2 hours with Benjamin Ebley, and he's going through AI, just tickled pink. Dave, and more. I love it, right? It's so awesome. Ben's going through it too. Look what's saying. And I wish Canadians would access this stuff, that it's now at your fingertips. I know the vast majority don't want to, but these are truths and reality, whether people want to admit it or not. It's there. It's always been there, but it's your crown who wants to subjugate you. Nobody else. It's certainly not Donald J. Trump. It's not Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin. They're in their lanes for their countries. China's already losing. They've lost 2 of their Beijing supply and value chains, have already switched over to the United States. Trump won, China nothing. And you think this short-term transitionary pain for the United States means something. You think that by the time we get in 22 months, which is clearly long before Americans face their middle of the road, their defining moment where they get midterms, whether we see Congress and Senate lose support on Donald J. Trump or gain support, I think in 22 months' time, many months before, as predicted, you're going to see an even stronger majority House and Senate for Donald J. Trump. Because all these leftists, which is not even the right word, I shouldn't even play this game. It's about the autocrats up here and the we the people down here for America, even though they play on this left and right. But really, it's leftists up here and even some people who say they're on the right, even though here's Donald J. Trump over here, but he's down here on the spectrum. Him and his mega are down here on the right, but down here in we the people, rule of law. And then you've got a range of those crossing the center right. Sure, socially and morally, but they're up here on the government should have all the power. Make America subjects again. It's not going to work. Donald J. Trump's going to stay in his lane. Clearly, you're not going to see right now a House or Senate fold in a super majority, meaning massive majority, 2/3 and 75 rule, Senate and then House. You're not going to see that. You didn't see it with all of what you've seen today, which is probably the worst of the markets. You've watched energy prices jump way down. What is the number one source of economics? Energy and energy prices. Because all of those things that fell off because of globalism in America are going to go up. And in record time, in 22 months, you're going to see a much stronger America. And you're going to watch China lose so many of their value and supply chain control sphere of influence countries. You're already seeing it day one. Trump won. Globalists, nothing. China, nothing. China is losing. They're actually -2. I shouldn't say that. They're -2 right now. Trump's +2 on things that were never America's. You want to talk about sphere of influence? Wow. Wow. Where do you think Taiwan's going to go in the one China system? Is China going to capitulate to is Taiwan going to capitulate to China? Or are they going to fold and capitulate to Trump? If you're smart and you're a common sense kind of person, you're going to clearly see that it's in Taiwan's best interest to capitulate to Donald Trump. 3 for USA that were never USA, -3 for China. Where does that leave China in the next 22 months? USA. Here's Canada. We're going with China. Fuck America. Oh. Well, I can tell you, in the 15 trade agreements we got, 9 of which are BRICS, 3 of those I just talked about are in Beijing in the Asian Pacific Partnership. USA didn't sign, Canada did. Where does that put Canada? Especially if those 3 go with USA. Where does that put Canada? Right there with China in the loser's lane. This is just 2 days now. 2 days after Trump's tariff release announcement, his amalgamation and deal with OPEC nations, 8 of the strongest effectual organizations with a clear history. Canada, you can't deny. Alberta, wake the hell up. This has been a destructive force anytime they wish to see it upon you. Every time. You were warned about it. You were told about it. I talked about it all the way up to Christmas. Absolutely first week of January. Much earlier than Donald J. Trump's announcement. Much earlier than the reality now today, since April 3rd. We're April 5th now. And we're watching the pieces fold over exactly as I kind of said, well, that's what I would do. That's why I think Donald Trump's smart. He's a smart man. He's the president of the United States. He has an administration. He has so many more experts. I'm just one guy in Canada. If I can see this, they absolutely all saw it. And you're seeing that today. We're losing this. Elbows up. Back, 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 back. Chicken. Chicken. That's all it is. And I'm sorry. You're clucking along the road. Bark, 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 bark. You're not going to make it. Elbows up. Who are you, a chicken? Because you're going to be. You're going to be served for dinner. Are we going to go communist? Is that going to be our new GDP reality? Liberal, conservative, NDP, Bloc, Green? I don't know, pick one. Go across Canada, all these parties, Saskatchewan Party, Buffalo, all this UCP, NDP, Liberal, these centrist parties, all this baloney, blow this, that's what I say. You're all done. The crown is done, and people need to wake up. We're energy dominant in Canada, yet we can't function in that perspective, in clean or dirty, whatever you want to believe. In either reality you pick, you should be absolutely dominant and so supersized compared to Russia and USA per person per capita. But yet we are not. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is it? There's no excuses. There's no excuses. There's only one truth. That Canada and its crown are corrupt and broken. And that you can't build a successful country with those narrated subjects and savages. You can't. You can't build a system based on autocracy and not meritocracy. If you don't give equality of the person to all and give everyone a fair shot, fair access to knowledge and achievement at their own merit and worth, and allow for that, and give everyone the same opportunity, and you say, no, to hell with all that, we're going to base it on who you know and who you blow, where you were born and who deems you in which class. When you do that, you ruin a country, a society. When you limit achievement, when you take away technological advancement in favor of the crown and a benefactor system, born benevolence, you're screwed. You're screwed. This is an old world design that has never worked. And only by the grace of your massive resources have you made it this long. But now those who've turned a blind eye are saying, you're too corrupt, too far gone, and we are cutting you out. America's good graces, they're cutting you out now. And if you believe narrow-minded, foolish Canadians blindly lustfully after their crown, their masters, their taskmasters with the whip, any party you pick, they're all the same. They all promise to be your benefactor, and that if you just give your rights and freedoms to them and let them have all your sovereignty like all the others before them, it's going to be better. It'll never be better. It will only be better when you gain your own sovereignty, and I only see one way to do that, statehood. If you don't pursue that, you're going to go under. We already are. It's already going on all around us. China is losing at an epic rate. I can predict 5 more folding from China's base, its central base. I can see them folding in the next week. What about the other 10? What's going to happen to them? What's going to happen to China? 22 months from now, we're going to see an energy-reliant China really crippled and an energy-dominant USA going forward. And depending on what happens with Russia and Ukraine, you're going to see Russia going up too. They already are in their grouping. You just don't know it yet. This is my video. Share, share, share. Critical. Go look at it. 2 Asian Pacific partnerships, which are absolutely under the umbrella of China, who've never been under the Western umbrella, are already negotiating and folding. And if you think Taiwan in the China One policy, where they can take Taiwan, that's the breakaway post-World War II and the establishment of the Communist Party. These were the Republic of Chinese who ran away and are in Thailand now. They're sitting there. Where are they going to go? With China, who wants to completely take them under their umbrella and take away all of their wanton sovereignty? Or are they going to make a deal with USA? That's really not hard to predict. Any common sense brain, if you weren't polluted by this narrative in media that is called leftist, but really it's called autocratic. It's way up here. And sure, all of those on the left are in it to win it, but there's an overlap of the right too. And even some far right people are stuck in that, at least in Canada. You see the mega, because they're not up here, they're down here. They're in the right, but they're down here. And they've got a good spectrum that's just teetering off of center. Because people haven't woken up in the United States yet. But you will see, mark my words, in 22 months, a vast swath of those that were floating up here with that left lunatics are going to be like this. Right back to where they're designed to be constitutionally. Donald J. Trump has the strength and fortitude, which I see he does. He's going to win this. And I think it's going to go a lot quicker than people imagine. Now, very slow for Canada. Remember everybody, this is very easy to formulate. What takes 22 months on average for America to achieve takes 26 years for Canada. That's also true for Canadians. So you can imagine the next 22 months that you've hardly moved Canada at all. They're suffering greatly, but you've hardly moved them at all. You might move maybe 10% more. That's how sad it is. Breadlines. That's what I'm seeing. You're going to have to be breadlines. And like I talked to Ben about, we do have to use the Nazi Germany narrative. That like the Jews of the Holocaust, no, I've got the armband on. All my house has been taken. I'm in a crappy living situation. My kids are sick. Next thing you know, all the way to breadlines. And then from there, boxcars. And they're shaving your head and you're wearing a set of rag clothes in slippers going, oh no, they got a plan for me, like Daniel Smith or Mark Carney or Francois Legault, Pierre Poilievre. They've got a plan for you, all right, Canadians. They've got a real plan for you. Wow, people, wake up. Sure, they got a plan. It's called the oven. I'm sorry to say. It's called the oven because they would rather see all of you dead before they'll ever give up their power. That's your crown in its entirety. Doesn't matter what party. If they're not talking statehood at this point, they're just talking about keeping that autocracy going. Trust in me and my inversion of the autocracy, the colonialism, the socialist fascist system. Trust me. No, the time for trust is over. We're seeing global shifts now. It's being called out. The world's never going to be the same. It's already changed irrevocably. We needed to be on the other side of this in this election, and I tried my best. We didn't get there. By the end of this weekend, that window is completely closed. Not that I could effectually do anything at this point, even if I got a call from an accountant today, because we'd have to register on Monday. It can't be done. 51st state Canada is gone for this election period, which means we have to wait 4 years. 4 more years. Unless they call a snap election. I mean, that could always happen too, depending on how radical things go. But where is everybody going to want to go? We want the blue crayon box of the same box, the same Auschwitz boxcar. Well, they're not shaving my head, they're just cutting it to a 1/4 inch. Totally different thing. My rags aren't red, they're blue. My slippers aren't red, they're blue. Totally different thing. Totally different. That's the mentality and the reality. No, China's losing. They're already losing. One day they're already losing. And here's Canadian media. Look, China's fighting back. How are you going to fight back energy dominance when you're energy reliant? Please, somebody just pick up your phone. Don't take my word for it. Look at a country who's energy reliant, 80% energy reliant, versus a country that's 100% energy dominant. Calculate which country is going to win tit for tat. Calculate that. Calculate that. It's very simple. If you don't understand, I don't know what to tell you. That's a Canadian mentality, a crown poisoning of your brain. But yet, all sources will tell you, according to AI, that the energy dominant country will win hands down. If you don't get that truth, I don't know what to tell you. If you don't see what's going on here, I don't know what to tell you. If you don't see that already 2 countries out of China's sphere have already folded and are ready to capitulate to Donald Trump, don't know what to tell you. America 2-0, China 0-2. That's not good. That's not good in the long run for China. And anyone who's saying, elbows up, we're going to go around, screw you, America, we're going to replace those third world countries, we're going to be communist. Doesn't matter, conservative, liberal, NDP, Bloc Green, all of your provincial parties, they're all talking like this. Every single one of them. We're screwed. That's my video. Share, share, share. I repeated this several times for all those who've been cycling in. Get it out there. Share, share, share. Undeniable reality. And this is only 2 days. Week after week, day after day, month after month. You will see. We're already clearly on the hate side of this. The hate side of it. I gave you love and hate many, many months ago. Before everything Donald Trump's now released. Not because I read minds, not because I have visions from God or I'm holy or anything, but because I did the work, I do the study, I understand America better than most Americans know it themselves. I know everything about the Canadian model system better than most, if not all, your politicians. That's not me going, look how much smarter than them. That's from doing the work, not being a lazy, no good son of a bitch like all of your Canadian politicians who aren't there for their merit, but they're because of autocracy. They're because of assigned benevolence in a class-structured system. And that will mean we will be losers every day of the week, forevermore and always, because we always have been. It's why it takes us 26 years to do things America does in 22 months. That doesn't scare you guys. I don't know what does. That should absolutely terrify you. Canadians go, oh, well, I just keep going to work. It's going to work out. All the way to the boxcar Auschwitz with the shaved head. No, it's okay. My uniform, my rags are red. Or, no. Oh, it's okay. My rags are blue. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. That's my video. Share, share, share. Get it out there. Undeniable. It's all there for you. Bye now.